For joining me on Facebook and YouTube Live, and thanks as always to the sponsors, Cornerstone Business Solutions, Galaxy Blinds, Advanced Utility Solutions, Smith & Friends Estate Agents, Cleveland Systems Engineering, Dovecot, and TGM Cars. Today, obviously, we go to Portsmouth, unbeaten in the league. This is the 9th game of the season in the championship campaign. We started off brilliantly. The team today was Saul Bryn. We went back to last week was the first time we actually started with a back four. It did change near the end of the game. But today, back to the three centre-backs. Fry returned. So it was Fry, Jones and Ayling, the three centre-backs. Target on the left, Britton on the right, Hackney, Morris, Hansen, Sine, and Conway. That was the starting lineup. On the bench was McLaughlin, Bazog, Whittaker, Strelick, Brown, Nipan, Silvera, Banguera, and Kante. What did I see today? I thought first half, well, I don't think I know what I've seen. First half, we flattered to deceive. Any of the ball we had, when we had it for long periods, it was in our half. In the last third, we were powder puff. No, it's easy criticising you, but it's not about that. I'm just being honest. Two occasions, we gave them two opportunities and they took one of them. The first one came in for the left. The lad should have scored and he hoofed it. And then the second one, they did score. So that was disappointing, but we never had one shot on target. Second half, waiting on the response. We stepped it up a gear, but still didn't trouble the goalkeeper. We had one shot in 94 minutes, whatever it was. Just like Southampton. Southampton, we had one shot and we scored. Today, we had one shot. It's not even worth talking about. I don't even know who hit it. The keeper threw his cap on it. So as an attacking force, and this is my concern. This has been my concern even when we're winning. I've said it on here. The wing backs don't do enough for me. Don't get enough quality into the box. The forwards, whether it's Nipan, Whittaker, Strelick, Hansen, Senny, they're not doing enough. Conway, they're all working hard, but not really getting opportunities. As I say, one shot on target, and that wasn't even worth talking about. It was a defender that had it, and it was weak. It was a nothing shot. So disappointing. And we changed it again. I mean, the subs that came off, Hansen, Senny, Ayling, Target, and Hackney all taken off throughout the course of the second half. Strelick, Brown, Nipan, Berzog, and Whittaker all came on. So we did try everything to change it, and looking for a turnaround and a change in fortunes, but it didn't materialise. It didn't happen. So look, all good things come to an end, all bad things come to an end, all good things come to an end. But it was just the manner in which we gave it away. Pompey have not set the championship alight this season, but we know it's a difficult place to go to. Of course it is. But the first half and the second half, we didn't do enough going forward. As I say, I used the word powder puff. Conway was playing more to the left side. A couple of times he laid balls on, but the finishing was awful. But a couple of good chances. Was it Hansen second half? Conway came in, played it square. Hansen, you're looking for him to hit the target. He totally fluffed it. He shanked it. Young Morris, who's been getting praise, and rightly so, this season, his shooting was awful. Awful. He did about 4 or 5 shots a day. I would question the kid if he had his boots on the right foot. That's how bad it was. That's how I'm not making it as a joke or being sarcastic. If I was his team, I'd be on the bus coming back, I'd be saying, they're playing, whatever it is, I'd be saying, listen, play shooting today. Too much going backwards and too slow. Morris needs to learn how to shoot. I've just mentioned that, Jason, before I read your comment there. Why is Conway left there? Yeah, Conway was more on the left. He did a lot of the ball and he played a couple of square passes for others to have a shot, but he never had a shot himself. Time to bring... Kev Naylor always cracks a joke. Big Rudy just said, time to bring him back. Dear me. Mark Smith, hiya Mark. Good evening, Bernie. Poor today. Tempo was slow. Yeah, it was slow. It was laboured. Too many touches in the middle from Hackney and Morris. Hackney and Morris weren't at the races for me. Sideways and backwards too. Conway on the left, not sure that works. Edwards needs to decide. Where is it? Edwards needs to decide how the top of the pitch will look. Good to have options, but it's chopping and changing all the time. After 9 games, 18 points, I would be happy with that. Everybody would, Matt, if we knew that at the beginning. The last 3 games haven't been the best. Hopefully a break, reset, will focus on what we need. But the thing is, we're going into an international break. It's nice to go in with at least a point, but the last 4 games, 5 games, 3 draws and a defeat. So it's not ideal. Coventry are flying. They're banging in goals for fun. They're keeping clean sheets. So they are, and they've went above us at the minute. Start of the season, I'd be happy with it. We can't keep saying what you're saying is true. Yes, we would. Of course we would. But where we are, this is when the pressure builds. This is when you really need to roll your sleeves up, show a bit of balls and steel. And hey, we ain't going to get beat today. We've did it. We've did it in recent weeks. You know, we've pulled out the bag. Southampton didn't lose if we're going to score. We did. People says, oh, Carrick wouldn't have done that. Well, today, didn't matter what we did, who we changed, never did any effect. Disappointing result for the Borough today, Bernie. Do you think Conway should have been dropped? Do you think Conway should have been dropped onto the bench today and replaced by Strelic? Hey, anybody could have got taken off today. There was nobody that shone. Nobody was good. As I say, Conway works his ass off, backside off, call it what you like. But as in getting goals, and he's going to struggle to get a lot of goals this season because he works too hard and he's out of position. Concerning that Edwards still doesn't know his best 11, particularly the front three. But the thing is, because we play the 3 centre-backs, there's only one game was last home game we changed it for 60, 70 minutes, then went back to the 5. But the wing-backs have to get forward. I said this before the event. The wing-backs have to do more getting forward. Defensively, they're trying their best. They're helping out. Great. And we're keeping clean sheet. But going forward, we need to create for the forwards. The 2 central midfielders. Morris, who every opportunity shot, and it was wayward shots, wild shots, unbelievably bad shots. And Hackney never had a shot, I don't think, that they've won. Not enough creativity for the front guys. Well, for today, we move on. Hopefully get Hackney and Morris to the best. Hackney and Morris went off the boil the last 3 games. Maybe they're believing the hype. You know, I've seen the papers. Oh, I don't read papers. I've seen it on the social network. Morris, Hackney, all the big guns in from Spurs and Man United. And well, where were they when the window was open? It's bullshit. It's spin. It's propaganda. It's hype. It's nonsense. Where were they? They had the chance when the window was open. What's changed? All right, Bernie. Last 5 games haven't been great at all. Yeah, big test coming up against Ipswich. I can't see us beating them, but I hope I'm wrong. Well, Matty, the way we've started was good as anybody, and that's why we're up the top. But Coventry are in fire. They're banging in goals for fun. Was it 5 today, 4 last week, keeping clean sheets galore, and they've went above us. And in the last third, I did predict that, look, it's inevitable we're going to get beat. We're only going to be Arsene Wenger's, the Invincibles at Arsenal and go through a season they're going to beat. It's going to happen. But it's how we respond now. Getting beat is not a massive issue. It might waken us up and think, you know what, we're maybe not as good as we think we are. Or the fans think we are. It might be a wake-up call. Sometimes I think it's a wee blessing. Happened to Maddie. We go 13 games unbeaten in 87. All of a sudden you get done 1 or 2 games, then you think, oh, hold on a minute. And it wakes people up. So maybe it's going to wake people up. And we'll be better for it in the long term. But the last third, wing-backs have to do more. 2 central midfielders defensively do it. But going forward, they need to do more. They need to score more goals. They need to create more goals for the guys in front of them. I'd be rollicking them. Every time Morris shot today and it was a shanker, I'd be saying, hey, kid, give us the ball. I don't want to swear. Poor result, Bernie. But TBF, been coming. Not looked like scoring many recently. Not sure we know a best 11 or best front 3 yet. We have good forward players and options, but we don't provide them with good enough service. What's what I'm saying? You can have the best guys in the division up front, but if you don't get service, you're not going to score. All right, so where are we? Poor result, Bernie. Now we're hearing we would have took this position, etc. Clueless, trying to make a positive out amid a negative. Well, that's what the modern coaches do and the managers, isn't it? If you get done, they always go back to, oh, but this is a positive, and they try and just forget the negatives. Today we weren't good enough. Second half, we get back into it, but not good enough in the last third. I used the word powder puff. If you have one shot, and I can't even remember who had it, it wasn't a forward-thinking player, and the kid could have threw his cap on it. He wasn't wearing a cap, but if he did, he could have did that. Well, at least we can stop the clown saying we're still unbeaten on top of the league. Now we're hearing we would have took this position, etc. Clueless trying to, yeah. I'm happy, won my cash, and he's a Borough fan. So as a Borough fan, he's put a bet on it we could beat today. I wouldn't do that. We have been playing poor the last few games, not scoring and poor creativity. Yeah, as I say, you play wing backs. Playing wing backs and 3 centre backs is not a negative trait. But if your wing backs aren't good enough for getting up the park and whipping balls in service galore, then it is a negative setup. Teams know how we play now. Rob Edwards, what did they do? What would Borough do? Oh, I'd play 3 centre backs, wing backs can't cross the ball. Not great in the last third. Good defensive, but not great. They're all going to cotton on to that. So we need to find another solution. No complaint, final third, dreadful. So we've all seen the same game. You know, we're criticising, but we've seen the same game. Conway isn't the answer to get us promoted, Michael Thomas. As I say, Conway, he had a couple of dives today again. I was critical during the week. He had a couple of dives today. One in our own half. There was no value in even diving. Mo Cummins says, come on, it's our first defeat in the league. Let's get back the team. Need to play a bit quicker pace. Mo, you're right. We're not overdoing it. Hey, the team started brilliantly, but today we get beat, and it was inevitable it was going to happen. So great run has come to an abrupt end. Why? And it was on the cards recently because we're not creating enough in the last third of the opponent's half, and that's exactly what's happened. And if we don't start creating up front, we'll end up getting beat a couple of games. And then we'll be thinking, what do we do? Opponents have did their homework, know how we operate now under Rob Edwards, and they're going out with a game plan to do us. I mean, they're in the great shakes today, I'll be honest. Morris wouldn't score on the bongo. Or Amsterdam. No, Morris has had the plaudits, and the kid's been great. If you ask me who's been the best player this season for Middlesbrough, I would say Morris. But today he was awful. His shooting was brutal. He was just shanking everything. Everything he hit just went wayward, as if he had his boots in the wrong feet. I think he had these shoes I bought in Burnley. Was it Burnley? No, whatever. When I went to see Oasis in Manchester, I got 2 left-footed shoes by mistake. I think he had them on. Awful up front, Bernie. Conway might run all the time, but produces nothing. Martin Sturman. Well, the thing is, Martin, in my day, sometimes I used to go looking for the ball and run here, there, and everywhere. And people would say, Slavin, you're like a headless chicken. That's what I see Conway. I see him as a headless chicken at times. Working his backside off, which is great and good in the eye, and people like somebody that worked very hard for the team, but he's not getting any rewards. And a lot of the running's in his own half and going too deep and out of position. You don't get goals in that position. The goals never move. I used to go wide and go, I'll get in the middle. I'm going to score goals. I want to score goals. If he's running here and everywhere, he's going to get very few goals. Especially the way we play. Sitting here and spelling out back to my mouth. You're still talking about money, man. To be fair, we were so bad today, we gave a poor team 3 points. They're a poor team. I don't think they're going to be anywhere. No answer to being closed down. And when they attacked, they had so much space, it was frightening. There looked a distinct lack of communication in the defence there. I don't know if Fry just returned it. I don't know. But there was one great opportunity they had, and 3 has just stood still. The lad get the ball. He should hit the target. And he's hit it and it's took deflection, went by. He should have scored, to be honest. This is when it was 0-0 first half. And then obviously the goal comes. But as I say, there's no efforts on the opposing target that's worth talking about. Well, there was none. Even the one I'm saying, that it was a nothing shot. Morris can't shoot. Surely should be on extra shooting practice. Every shot he has is good positions. He shanks it everywhere. Should be getting 5+ a season. For Chris Stonehouse. Look, Chris, I get criticised heavily for my heading ability with Bruce Rear. He used to say it publicly. I can't see Rob Edwards going in the national papers and local rides and saying, oh, he needs to practice his shooting. He should. If he's watching this or somebody knows him and knows me, tell him, get his shooting boots on, go to training, stay afterwards when all the lads have gone home and practice shooting. I was criticised with Bruce Rear saying I can't head the ball. I was hopeless. He says that in the local and national papers. What I did, I thought, rather than take umbrage and take offence, I thought, you know what? He's right. Can't head the ball. Bag of balls, 10, 12 balls, young goalkeeper in goal, practice every day. This was at Maiden Castle in Durham, we used to train. And I scored a couple of headers in the next 4 or 5 games. I scored a couple of headers because it woke me up. His criticism woke me up. I don't know if modern coaches are big enough to say it publicly, tell him first and foremost, obviously, and then say it publicly. And I don't know if the players are tough enough to take the stick. Why? Everybody knows the shooting was awful today. Some people weren't shooting. Some people were passing the buck responsibility. And when there was shots and people were standing up, they were awful. Conway, if this is the Toptic, no TikTok, Toptic. Conway is a headless chicken and certainly not a wide player or a number 10. He wasn't playing right wide. He was playing inside left. If you like, he put wide on occasions, but in the main he was inside left. Number 10, if we aren't playing with front two, he shouldn't be anywhere near the first 11. Well, he's always played up the middle, but obviously Rob Edwards is a different animal from Michael Carrick, and he's got different ideas and different formations, and he can play him where he wants. But I think Big Rob now knows, he'll know behind it, he'll know what we're saying now is right, and he'll be trying to find an answer to it. But we're too easy to defend against. I thought Rob Edwards' ethos was high press and high intensity. That was evaporated in the last 3 games. Far too slow and Carrick-like. There was times in sections of the game midweek and today, or the last game and today, where we were slow and laboured and predictable and getting it back and playing it there and getting it back. I mean, Big Deal Fry, he could have had a cigar out for the majority. I keep saying this. We're good defensively, one of the best defensive records in the league. I think we're second or joint second or first best defensive for keeping clean sheets or letting least goals in, but we should be 3 centre backs. Big Fry sits in the middle. The other two, they go away, and Dale Fry's here and he gets the ball. And there's not one opposition player near him. He's got all day, puff the cigar and say, there you go, give us it back here, have another puff. Then when the ball goes up front and up against our defence is well stocked. I mean, today they had 2 chances first half. One they put away, one they shanked. They missed. They had a poor effort. But very disappointed today. What's going wrong? This is for Chris. Chris, we need to learn to shoot right. Today, as I say, teams know how we play now. Our wing backs, defensively good enough, bit of pace, bit of aggression, but going forward, not good enough. Don't do enough for me. You know, if you're reflecting Giles, no second time round, first time round, I keep going back to Giles because he was the best in the business at it. He used to bomb forward, bust the gut, get to the byline, whip balls in, not up in the air, just whipping them in. And Akpom, well, he hit the jackpot. He was scoring goals for fun. You know, so but we've not got that now. Conway's running about, Strelick when he comes on running about, Big Senny's running about. I mean, Senny and Hansen, they weren't in the game either first half. Well, they get taken off second, but they weren't in it. But I don't just blame the forwards. If they need to start vocally giving stick to the likes of Hackney, the likes of Morris, the wing backs, come on, get service in. You know, we're starving here. Hi, Bernie. Hope you're well. This is from Mark Anderson. Hi, Mark. Okay, not the best result of performance, but we're still second in the league. We are, Mark. We need to stay positive and get behind the lads. Maybe the international break has come at the right time this time around. Look, Mark, I don't think look, the lads have did brilliant. Rob Edwards, amazing. Everything has been brilliant. Today, hopefully just a slight setback. But it might be a wee wake-up call that we need, because some of them might be believing the hype and how good we are and getting out there thinking, we need to turn up and beat this lot. They're crap. They're doing the bottom of the league or whatever, not doing it. Well, today we get punished. And you can see the where we're lacking. Opposing teams can see it. We'll know it as well. The lads coming back on the plane or wherever the the horse and car, whatever they come back, and they'll know what happened today. We've never done any shots, not good enough, and they know the faults and flaws. But now, this is when the real test of character. You know, Big Rob Edwards, the club, everything, the PR has been magnificent this year. The great connection with the fans. But when everything's hunky-dory and everything's going your way, and you're doing brilliant, and you're getting all the plaudits and all the praise and all the slaps on the backs, and rightly so, we deserved it and deserve it. When it comes undone and unstuck, that's when you show your real character and how good you are. You know, are you going to just disappear? Are you going to wilt? Are you going to roll up your sleeve and say, come on? We've did that in recent games. We've lost a goal and fought back to the bitter end. But today, we couldn't find that ingredient. So, this is the real character now. Next game, we have a break. Might be good, might be bad for us. Don't know. If it was me and I played today, not scored, not had a shot, I want to play on Tuesday or Wednesday. Forget the tiredness and fatigue. Never used that word in my life when I was playing. I'd want to play Tuesday or Wednesday to win the game and score a goal. The break would do me no good. I'd be stewing for 2 weeks. Thinking, can't wait the next game to get rid of that bad display. The lads have to stew in it now. The international players will go away. Where are we here? So Vera at left wing back was working, so maybe he needs to come back in. Top tick. Great, isn't it? Top tick. Top tick. So Vera was better in the pre-season than he is in the real season. This is the real stuff. Pre-season, so Vera was doing brilliant. I never seen any of the games, but I was reading reports on the social media, and my mates had been, and they were bumming about him, how good he is, and how fast and tricky and creativity. Yeah, I think the creativity might be there, but he's not. He's come off and played in spurts this season. He's not been a regular, and I don't think he will be a regular this season. I know Big Rob Edwards, I think I seen a wee quote saying it was delighted with so very well. Let's see how delighted he is. I don't think he'll be a first team regular this season. I think he's got skill. He's fairly quick and he can be creative, but it's hitty missy. You know, doesn't do it enough for me. Can he defend? Probably not. Like most forward-thinking players can't defend. I've watched all the games. This one, we have sneaked 2-1, etc. It's because of poor finishing from the other teams. Alan says, why all the changes? Why all the changes this match? Changes? No, but the changes, well, there wasn't a lot of changes, Dave. Bryn, if you've just joined us, where are you? There was Bryn, Target, Jones, Fry obviously come in, Ailing, Britton. There's injuries as well. Hansen, Morris, Hackney, Sennett and Conway. Well, up front, Strellick's not really settled down yet. We need to give the guy time to settle in the area. Must be a cultural shock for him, coming to Teesside. It was for me. Says that many a time. Strellick might not settle to the summer. Hi, Bern. I'm me jollies in Turkey. Never got to watch the match, but best result, but keep positive, but not a best result. This is for Dennis. Hiya, Dennis. Hope you're having a great time in Turkey. Hope you're not getting any turkey teeth, turkey tummy tuck, and turkey toupee. Pamela. Hiya, Pamela. Disappointed with the result, but it was bound to come to an end, especially against them who haven't beaten us in years. Who we haven't beaten in years. Yeah, away from home. I think we've only won 2 and 13 away from home. I'm sure I won down there with the Borough. That was about 90 years ago. I'd rather be where we are now, where we were last season. Why don't they play 2 strikers up front anymore? Don't get this number 10 carry on. I don't even know if we play with a number 10 now. The 3 were just, just changing over. But in the main, Comey kept going to the inside left and sometimes pulling wide left, and Hansen was drifting all over, as was Senny. As I say, we have to get it settled, who we're going to have up front. And we have to get it sorted in the wide positions. We're going to play with wing backs, which looks in the main we are. I've only changed it once for 60, 70 minutes. We really need to get the best wing backs we've got available and telling them the role. It's not just about defending, it's about getting balls in the box and creating things. And the 2 midfielders have to do more as well going forward. Hopefully a good wake-up call, Bernie. That's what I call it, Alec. When I played, if we lost, I'd think, do you know what? Yeah, we've had a good run. We've got a ball up the backside, wake us up. We're not as good as we think we are. Brings us back down to earth. Might be a blessing. Hopefully, good wake-up call. Rarely does the international break come at a good time. Hopefully, it helps us regroup. Well, the thing about regrouping, the better players are in international duty, so some of the stiffs have to regroup. You tell your pal or partner whoever what the stiffs are. Too many people slagging Morris up. No, listen, no. I've said Morris's shooting was brutal, awful. And he has to stay back with a bag of balls and practice his shooting. But Morris, for me, has been the best player this season. Yeah, so there's the happy medium. I'm a Morris fan. I think he's been brilliant, the kid, for he came in. But his shooting today was awful. You know that. He's been one of the better players, I've just said that, and shooting is clearly not why he gets selected. No, he's in there for his determination, his dogless attitude, and getting in amongst it. But he has to learn to shoot as well. Being in that position, you still have to shoot and learn to hit the target and score a few goals. It's clearly not why he gets selected. Bit like moaning at you for not winning enough tackles. Long way to go, and we've had very good start. Hey, Alex, I get loads of stick for not tackling. Stewie Downing used to get stick left winger. I used to say, Stewie Downing's effort to be a creative winger, get balls in the box, which he did, score a few goals, which he did, but he wasn't there to tackle. You can get. I used to say to Jimmy Phillips, I get moved outside left when Peter Davenport came, and Jimmy Phillips. No, it was after that. It was when Lenny came in. Lenny Lawrence came in, and I used to be in front of him outside left at times. And I used to say to Jimmy Phillips, "Listen, Jimmy, I've got the energy and I'm fit enough to get back, and I've got the endurance and the stamina. But when I'm back there, I'll be honest. I can't defend. Just try and keep me right. Top me. Get him on his left. Put him on his right. Bring him inside. Communicate." Which Jimmy did. So when you're a forward-thinking player, but as a midfielder, you still have to chip in with goals. I'm not talking about getting 15, 20 goals a season, but you must get 3 to 5 a season. Especially if you get 5, 6 shots a day, you can't keep shanking them every time. He'll get more chances. He might stick one in the top of the net next time. We will do a bad game for FC. Nobody would have predicted the start we've had. We will bounce back stronger up the effing borough for Tony. And I agree, Tony. We're criticising today because it was under par performance. One shot on target, which wasn't even worth talking about. It was powder puffed. In the last third, we have got a wee issue. I've seen this coming. I've said it on the air. Still not doing enough. When you look at Coventry, 5 today? 4 last week. Clean sheets as well. So they've got it right at both ends. We've got it right at one end, but the other end we need to really polish up. And the hardest thing in football is to score goals. I believe the squad we've got is very good. As good as any of them. The start we've had is very good, as good as anyone. That's why we're just below Coventry or level, but second at the minute. But we have to get back on track and sort our deficiencies out. There's no good kidding ourselves. It's not a problem, and it won't be an issue down the line. It will be, because teams have cottoned on how we play now. Rob Edwards, what's he do? 3 centre-backs. Yeah, in the main, 3 centre-backs. Wing-backs, are they fast enough? Are they creative enough? They do the defensive duties, but going forward, no, they won't create a great deal. The 2 central midfielders, they're good. Hackney's passing balls now and again. Some of them go astray. Doesn't get enough goals. Might score the odd worldly, which he does. And Morris doesn't really score. So that's how the opposing people will be talking. We need to find a solution and an answer to that. And if the boys who we're talking about in praising what they've done and talking about the deficiencies, we have to sort out the deficiencies. We know what they've got. They're talented kids, they're talented boys, they're talented players, but they have got deficiencies. Couldn't head the ball, caught offside, didn't have the right foot, wasn't aggressive. Had loads of deficiencies. And the flip side, I could beat a man, I could create a goal, I could score a goal. Everybody's got deficiencies. Even the greatest players in the world have got deficiencies, but he's trying to disguise them. Where are we here? It was too much of one pass forward, 3 passes back. Robin Lavender. Robin, yeah, as I say, there was a lot of predictability today, and that's not been in our makeup since Rob Edwards has come in. It's been refreshing and appetising and good to see now and again just change it and get the hoof on, get it up and push up. And we didn't really do that today. Surely we can't be fatigued after 9 games. 9 games. I heard somebody saying that during the last game we played. Oh, bit fatigued. What, 9 games? Shut up. You can't. You shouldn't be a professional footballer if you can't play 9 games in the bounds. And how many players actually play 9 in the bounds? Very few. I didn't see the game today, but the Stoke game was a hard watch. I didn't expect a result today. Did Stoke draw? The last time I looked, I was only looking at my phone when I was watching the Borough. They were drawn, but hey, we're the Borough. Away defeat, not the end of the world, but might mean something in May. Oh, come on. There's still loads and loads of games left, so we're not going over the top of the criticism. It's per game we do it. As Borough fans, you do it per game. Don't get carried away when we're flying. Don't get carried away when we get beat. Just keep your powder dry, keep an even keel. I did that as a player. I did it as a pundit. Never get carried away. 3 weeks ago, Peter had us winning the league in European football. Next season, nonsense. Calm down. Long, long way to go. Started off brilliantly. Today, hopefully, just a minor setback, and we come back firing on all cylinders against Ipswich Town, which we know is going to be a difficult game, but they're all going to be difficult because when you show that you're good enough to be up there competing, teams want your scalp. They either come out today and says, hey, these are top of the league, get into the game, forgetting about Frank Lampard's side commentary. These are up there. Let's go out and turn them over. There's nothing better. Where are we now? I didn't see the game. No, sorry. Away defeat not in the world. 1-1 Stoke. Yeah, I thought it was, Leslie. I heard it just as it was coming on. I had a wee look. Bristol lost 2-1. West Brom lost. Bristol lost 2-1. West Brom lost. So keep them coming in. I know it's odd times. I just thought might as well do it 5 to 6. There's other games coming on tonight. People will want to watch that. But hey, Borough fans, come on. Tell us what your feelings are. Is it just a blip? Hole in the road. We're going to bounce back next game against Ipswich. Does the international break do us good, or is it not? But as I say, in the last 5 games, 3 draws, 1 defeat, 1 win, 9 points disappeared, 6 gained. That's not fantastic form. Draws away from home are always good. Home, not as good. Eventually, we'll catch up with us if we went a right few games drawn at home. Any point away from home was always classed as a good one. I know there has times last season when we said it wasn't, but in the main it is. And away points a good one. Home points, not the best, because you're looking for all 3 points. When we played Stoke midweek, Stoke, well, like us, very good defence. The betting man, which I'm not, would have probably said it was going to be a draw, and it was a draw. Did you prefer to chase or be chased as a player? Oh, I'd rather be chased as a player, dear me. I hated, there was nothing worse than chasing an opponent and having to close them down. And, Bruce Rayk used to say that the defending comes for the front. So the ball would go, say, the right back or the left back, and I'm up front with Paul Watkinson, the Rain Bird, or Archie, and we would have to go and squeeze them and close them and harass them. And then he would play it into the middle of the park to the centre backs. They wouldn't fanny about like today's game, but they would do it quicker and then eventually launch it. But, oh no, I'd rather get chased. Definitely. I actually fancy us against Ipswich, if I'm honest. So Leslie's saying he fancies the Borough against Ipswich. Well, why not? Ipswich haven't hit top gear. A lot of people tipping them to get automatic promotion. Again, we'll find out, but I wouldn't be worried about getting playing Ipswich. Meant in the league as a team chase the top. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant as an individual. No, I'd rather be at the top. When I played Middlesbrough, I hate getting back over old ground, but I'm just trying to give you examples. I get 3-4 promotions. 3 promotions at Middlesbrough? 2 into the top flight. We never actually won it. We were always maybe second. I think if you're hovering about the top 3, top 6, that's the place you want to be for the duration of the season. Being right at the top, yeah, everybody wants your scalp. But me personally, I still preferred to be at the top. There was times throughout a season we were at the top and then it sort of disappeared and we'd fall to second, but that was okay because we were still getting promoted. Come on, Bernie, you missed my comment. I didn't see your comment, man. I've read it out. You're actually fancy Ipswich. That's what you said. I'm going to read a few of these. I never read these, and I will read them now. Where are we? Leo says, Borough, poor today, second best all over the pitch. Colin says, Morris had a stinker. Look, the lad never hid. This is one of the things. Some players, when they're having an off day, or their shooting's off FA, or they go hiding. And he was still showing for the ball. He still wanted the ball. He was still competitive. So, stinker, no. He worked hard. He never hid, to his credit, but he didn't have a great game. And his shooting was awful. JJ says, our front men never get a kick. Yeah, as I says, JJ, you know, no matter who it was, if it was Hansen or Senny or Strelick or Conway, weren't in the game. But that's due to the people behind them and wide of them. If they don't give them the service, then you're knackered. How are you going to get in the game if the guys run about you don't give you the ball? Yeah, I never once, now and again as a forward, you would score the odd spectacular goal, but there wasn't a lot of that. You had to rely on your teammates getting you the ball and giving you, creating spaces and angles for you to score a goal. So every time you scored a goal, it wasn't just down to you. In the main, 99.9%, it was down to the team for giving you the service. The international break has come at the right time to regroup. We've done fantastic, and let's go again. That's for Gary and Samantha. Hi, Gary and Samantha. They go to every game. I'm sure they're travelling back in a minute. Where are we here? Coventry are on fire and banging in a goal for fun for Jamie. Well, I mentioned that throughout. It's not about Coventry, it's what we do. Coventry are going to be up there. Lampard's no mug. He did well, certain divisions, especially this division. He's done well. And if you're scoring 5 today and 4 last game, then you've not got a problem up front. And if you're keeping clean sheets as well, then you've got it right at both ends, which is hard to achieve. But scoring goals is still the hardest thing in the game to do. Brownie says our creative side of the game was average. Well, there wasn't a creative side. I wouldn't even say it was average. There was no creative today. William says, disappointing performance by the lads today, but not the end of the world. I agree with that. Chris says, when you're top of the league, the pressure obviously gets greater. Well, we've mentioned that. But that's when you separate the wheat from the chaff. That's when you see the real men rolling up their sleeves, showing their muscles, Strelick-like, slapping their face, and saying, come on, we're up for the fight here. We're going to prove we're the best. It's easy saying it, but you need to do it. But I'm sure, hey, listen, one defeat. Yeah, it was a poor performance. Anybody that says otherwise are kidding themselves on. It's not the end of the world. It's one defeat. It's going to happen. It's the test now. Bounce back. As I say, it's just a pity the next game's not on Tuesday or Wednesday against Ipswich rather than a couple of weeks down the line. Because I'm sure a lot of the lads will think like myself, where they want to get back on a horse, if you like, and get a goal and get a victory and get the tails up again and feeling good again. Travelling back, travelling back for games. My date was a coach. You'd have the forward sitting up the back saying defence was crap today. You'd have a defence talking about the forwards. No chances. You'd have the forwards talking about the wide men, not getting the balls in, we're starved. I'll have a wee chip and then I'll discuss it probably on Monday and go over it all again and say it to each other's faces. But that's just human nature, isn't it? You're going to talk about it. That's what the game's about, communication on and off the park. The fans have got opinions, the players have got opinions. I will kill a bit of time. The ex-Borough lads doing with the bit of time. What was it all the ex-Borough lads doing with you the other day? Yeah, somebody's actually mentioned that in one of the. I flicked through these before I come on. Yeah, I was with David Wheater, Archie Stevens, and Terry Cochran the other day. I got a phone call saying, do you want to go for coffee? I obliged. So David Wheater, Archie Stevens, Terry Cochran, the younger viewers, listeners, learn your history. You should learn your history, your club you support. I've always said that. I know the history of Middlesbrough now. 150-year-old, one trophy, Carling Cup, UEFA Cup final. Guys like Clough, Campsell, Fenton, Alan Peacock would rest him. All these guys, the greatest, Wolf Mannion, greatest player ever. You know, people say, Janina, well, what I read, Mannion's #1 ever. Although the Borough had a book out several years back and they gave it to Graham Souness, the best Middlesbrough player ever. Well, what I heard of Mannion, he was a wizard. Forget Harry Potter. Wolf Mannion was a wizard. He was nicknamed the Golden Boy. Then you guys like George Hardwick, nicknamed Gentleman George, had a tash, pencil tash, good-looking guy, had a date with Ava Gardner, who was in Hollywood at the time, big American actress. A guy from Middlesbrough meeting Ava Gardner and having a date with Ava Gardner. How good is that? Anyway, so learn the history of your past, but yeah, so Archie Stevens played with myself. My first year or two, Archie helped me greatly. He was more experienced. He was great in the air, stronger, more physical than myself, more aggressive, and he helped me greatly. Terry Cochrane was Middlesbrough winger before I came. By all accounts, he played with his socks down to his ankles, skipped by players for fun, created and scored a worldie. I think it was it Wrexham in the cup overhead kick. It's on YouTube. Look up Terry Cochrane. I'm sure it was Wrexham. Might be wrong, but it's an overhead kick. It's a worldie. So look that up. And David Wheater obviously played local lad, Redcar Rock. He played with us 100 odd games. Went to Bolton, made a good career. He's back in the area. In the afternoon, I ended up meeting Big Pallister, who went on to Man United fame. 9 years under Sir Alex Ferguson. Numerous medals, too many to mention, not got enough time on here. And Craig Hignett, Higgy. What a man, Higgy, great guy. They're all great guys, every one of them, love every one of them, and we're all still pals, different eras, some is, but we're all still mates. And my uncle 93 said Mannion edged it. He's seen both play Eartham. Come on, Mannion played at Middlesbrough. Was it 11 years he was there? 11, 12 years? Played for Middlesbrough, played for England, played for Great Britain. When I was in Glasgow and I was signing for Middlesbrough, my late father, no mobiles then, my late father says, when you're there, get a photo with Wolf Mannion. And my boyhood here is a Celtic, and I went, who's Wolf Mannion? He says, you'll find out when you go there. And I did. I got to know him very well, him and Lanny, the ice cream man. Albert Lanny was called. I used to meet them for a meal before I did the commentary with Ali for a couple of years. So I got to know him very well. I got to know his background and what he was all about. And he was a terrific guy. And I remember somebody tell me he broke his jaw at Hampden Park against Scotland. And back then, I mean, these days they jet all over the world, don't they? First class, they've even got the private jets. Some of the players that can't even play couldn't trap a bag of blue circle cement. Mannion, despite his greatness, broke his jaw, travelled second class on train with a broken jaw back from a game against Scotland. That's how the players were treated. And then when Will finished, I think he went to Oldham or down that neck of the woods, and then he returned, and he ended up serving coffee at ICI. This is a guy who played for England, Great Britain. How the times have changed there. Swansea away for Swansea. Who did I say? Wrexham. Well, Welsh teams, isn't they? TC's goal. Right, Matt, thanks for correcting me. I knew it was a worldie. You have to watch it. Terry Cochrane. And by the way, TC scoring against England for Northern Ireland. No mean feat, that. But these guys have no edge to them. Just great guys, great human beings. I'm sure the modern player is as well. A lot of modern players get bad press, but the majority will do charity work. The majority will be good guys, and you just get the odd nut job, which is everywhere. Disappointing performance with the lads. Chris says, when you're top of the league, can you handle it? I think I've read that. Yeah, well, obviously, one or two. Hey, look, there'll be a couple fall by the wayside when the pressure's really on. You go 2-3 games, you've no won. You're missing chances galore. You're letting goals in. One or two will disappear, evaporate. Well, but you can't afford that because you need the whole team in there. One or two can just upset the apple cart, and 1 or 2, 3 players out of sync can cause problems and issues. Len says our form recently has been brilliant. Last couple of games average. It happens. It's football. It's sport. Rob says, I've enjoyed your posts of your scrapbook cuttings recently on social media, Wolfman. Brings back great memories. Yeah, if you're thinking what's he on about, because of my 40th, which is in the town hall, 30th of October, I've just been putting scrapbooks. I was up in the loft cleaning out, fixing things, roof tiles, whatever, and I'm inside it. And I've got loads of stuff, loads of junk. My missus calls it junk. But there's scrapbooks up there. Some of them I've not even looked at. People used to give me them. I used to just shove them in books, not even read them. But anyway, because of the 40th, I've been looking through them, and yeah, some of them make me laugh, you know, and some of them I think, oh, some of them are cringeworthy. It's not all good. You know, I put whatever's in there, I'm putting it out. So thanks for that, Rob. Lenny says, Lenny? Not Lenny Lawrence, is it? Somebody says, oh, have you invited Lenny to the to my 30th? I have actually, through a friend of mine. He's going to ask him. I lost his number. I did have his number, Lenny, but I've not got it. I've not actually arranged with Lenny. Gone. Water under the bridge. Long gone. You need to move on with your life. You can't hold grudges against anything or anybody. You just have to move on. So I've invited Lenny. Hopefully he takes up the invitation. Somebody says, have you invited Rob Edwards? I have through the PR man, but the PR man's not got back to me. Maybe he's going to do it. Maybe he's not going to do it. I don't know. But I don't beg anybody to come. I'll invite them. The PR this season at Middlesbrough has been the best I've known for a long, long time. Off and on the park. As I say, it's when things go wrong or somebody says something that I think, that's when you see the real characters. The PR still has to be good. How's the new dogs getting on? Have you had them out yet? My God, we're going from football to dogs. Look, 40th, Bernie, not 30th. Laugh out loud. Do you know what? I'm fed up saying it. 40 years in Teesside. The celebration I'm having is in the town hall. Host of borough greats turning up. And they are great. Turning up. Guys that did the business. Guys that was loyal. They're coming. It's on the 30th of October. So it's 40 years. Celebrating 40 years on the 30th of October. Thanks for that, Gary. There's always somebody when you meet a client, somebody's going to correct you. Thanks for that. Bernie, I don't know what this is came from. Reese says, what do you make of politics in football? Politics in football. All politics should be banned, binned. I don't vote. I'm not any politicians. They're all liars. Couldn't lie straight in bed. Don't believe anybody or any of them, any one of them. In football, whether it's who we're talking to, Reese, whether it's flags, badges, corner flags, armbands, shouldn't be involved in football. Don't ram things in people's throats. Don't tell them what they should wave and what they shouldn't wave. Let them make up their own mind. It's brainwashing. I'm not into brainwashing. I say my thing. I'm vegan. I don't say to my mates who are sitting eating meat and, oh, you can't beat that. That's up to them. Get on with it. That's your life. You've got one life. Do it correctly. Do what you think's correct and get on with it. Don't let people ram things down your throat. That makes people rebel. So politics, no, a load of garbage. People pay. Yeah, another thing is, Reese, people pay to be entertained. That's what they pay for. So anyway, we'll go back to the other ones in a minute. I'm going to read these. Sorry, where are we? Slightly different subject from the match, but what's the first game? What was the first game wearing the new third Masham kit, which seems to have gone down a storm? Great to see Castor creating some nice kit after years of error or errata. So David Purvis, well, I'm not an expert in I know the history of footballers, but strips are not so great on that. Maybe the Borough Ship Museum, they're greatly involved in it. If any of them's watching, they'll tell you. It's a slightly different subject from the match. What was the first game wearing the new third Masham kit, which seems to have gone down a storm? Great to see Castor. Castor, is that how we got the game against Rangers pre-season? Is that because they're sponsored by Castor as well? Hey, it doesn't matter what as a player. Well, as a fan, obviously it does matter. But I found it a bit hard. Not hard. I found it strange that I'm watching my team Middlesbrough playing in it's touch of green with a white. I find it strange. You know, when certain teams come out, I remember Celtic, my boyhood heroes, several years ago. There was they came out with pink strips on. They looked like something out of Star Trek. Or who was the band? They just look bizarre. You know, you can call me old fuddy duddy, and but strips. There has to be somewhere in the border strip. There has to be a tint of red, surely. we get it 3 strips because they sell more gear. No Middlesbrough up and down the country. I get all that, but I still like the team I support to wear at least have a hint of the colour that we represent. I remember years ago. I'm sure it was Borough playing Newcastle. I'm sure it was against Newcastle as well. Somebody might remember this. And I'm doing the commentary with the late great Ali Brownlee. It was at the Riverside. And I can't remember who was the sponsors of our team. But I'm doing the commentary and the players are doing the warm-up. And Borough came out with black tracksuits on. I'm sure they hint of white as well. And I'm sure I says, oh, the Newcastle players, and Ali corrected me and says, no, that's Borough. And I went, Borough? Black tracksuits on the day we're playing Newcastle United. It's selling your soul. There's only so much you can do. I found it ridiculous. But yeah, that was against Newcastle. Chelsea 1-0. Chelsea 1-0 up against Liverpool. Currently, I don't know why any Borough fan would want to know that, Leslie, but there you have it. You're the man, Leslie. We're running out of time. We're trying to get these in. And keep. I know people's watching the game. I get it. There's big games. I get that. Colin says, what a great start to the season. Did any of the teams... Where was this coming from? So what a great start to the season. Did any of the teams you played in at Borough ever go on the run of games undefeated? No, I think I meant to. Didn't I ask this last time I was on here? From the start of the season, no. This is the best under Rob Edwards that Borough's had in the history, I'm led to believe. I've not checked it out myself, but I'm led to believe that. People have been carrying that story. But back in 87, I think it was 12 or 13 games unbeaten. But not for the start of the season. This is during the season. We went on a run of 13. And then we get done. And then I'm sure we went on another run. Not quite as many. So the answer's, Colin, is yes. A bit like when Man United had that black kit. They couldn't buy a one. Was it? Yeah, I remember that. But you remember talking about strips? We're talking about strips now. I know we're diverting, but it's still football orientated. Man United played with a grey strip. I think Fergie changed it at half time. The players were complaining they couldn't see each other. These days they might well playing skins. No strips. No, but back then Fergie did change it. They were playing in a light, was it a light or dark grey strip? And it was hard to pick out the players. Don't forget, some people are colourblind. I think you have picked a bad time, Bernie, for this talking tonight. Big games on. Yeah, I get that. I says that. I know that. I'd like to watch them, but Borough's more important to me. If you're half-hog Borough fan, that's fine. And you can always retrace this. You can always go back and look at it. I'm not on to get record figures. I go with my instincts. My instincts were 5 to 6, and do it and talk about the Borough. Who's your favourite Borough player at the minute? I did say it was Morris. Today he was awful, but it's still Morris. So Morris is my favourite player at the minute. Frank, so Joe says, I heard you being a bit critical of Tommy Conway after the Stoke game. Why? Oh, it was the diving. I watched. By the way, I didn't watch it. The following, when was it? Tuesday we played. Wednesday I did the live. I was critical of Conway because he's got a history of diving, and referees talk like we talk, and they'll be saying, "Oh, he dived. You need to keep your eye on him." Well, if no VAR, the referee's seen a split second, says it wasn't. I thought it was. I watched it 10, 12 times the next day. I've seen him given. I've seen him not given, but I still think it was a penalty. But I've seen Conway diving twice today. He actually rolled like one of them foreign players for years ago. Rolled about 10 times, and I thought, what's all that about? You're Scottish International. What are you doing rolling? It's as if you're rolling a carpet up. It's obscene. You get fouled, you lie down, you don't roll. If you're injured, the last thing you want to do is roll. I've always says that. Anyway, so I'm not a fan of cheating. I'm not a fan of people diving and try to get players booked or whatever. So whether it's an opponent or a home player, I'm not happy with it. By the way, yeah, so I'll read these, sorry. Who's your favourite player? I heard you mean, yeah. Ever scored against Pompey Wolfman? Lenny. Yeah, a couple of times scored down there. I think that was one of the times we beat them. And I scored here. Yeah, so the answer's yeah. Terry, did I see you in a coffee shop yesterday with Hignett and Palace? Yeah, I've mentioned that. Somebody quizzed that. Tell you what, you don't miss a thing, you lads, do you? There's always somebody, eh? I'm surprised I put the photo up with a couple of the lads rather than you taking a paparazzi photo and sending it out there. John says, today was a great opportunity to get back on track and we faltered. Well, we did, but all good things come to an end. Liam says, Bernie, I'm looking forward to your night at the Borough Town Hall on the 30th of the month. Have you asked Big Rob Edwards? I mentioned that earlier. I went through the PR man at Middlesbrough who's never got back to me. Maybe he's not got it. Maybe his phone's not working. Maybe he's ignored it. Don't know the answer. But I've asked. So that's all I can do. I'm not hated big. I asked because I think the PR has been very good this season, as I've mentioned. It's disappointing defeat, but now is the time for unity. Arthur Bainbridge. Look, we'll have the rest and then we'll be back fresh as a daisy, ready for the Ipswich Town game. So I'm sure the fans will be up for it, right behind the team. As I say, you criticise your family, you criticise your kids. If somebody doesn't do what they should do, or they come back from school and they've not did their homework, you say, you criticise them. That's what you do when you love something. So the people who's criticising today love Borough, concerned about Borough. Not concerned, but want me to do the best. Today, it wasn't a great day. I'm not going to say it at the office. I hate that saying. It's not been a great day. We probably deserve to get beat on the first half evidence. No shots on target, says it all. But we'll be ready and firing for the big game against Ipswich Town. I see Big Rob loves Silvera. Is that as a person or a player? Well, I don't know the answer to that, Joe. I did see it on social media. Rob Edwards saying that he likes Silvera. Could be either. Could be both. Tim, I see Edmondson's out again. Yeah, Timmy, Big Edmondson. I feel sorry for the lads. Out for, I think it's 6 weeks. Is it a pull or a strain? I'm not physio, but he's out for a right few weeks. So let's hope he's back sooner rather than later. Jojo says, I see more speculation regarding Hayden Hackney. Spurs, Man United, Fulham, Porto. Look, don't believe the press. Don't believe the hype. It's bullshit. It's spin. It's propaganda. There was a window of opportunity. Every team in the world could have went for Hackney. One surfaced. That was Ipswich Town. The club had agreed with Ipswich the fee. Hackney refused to go. Probably waiting in better or bigger teams coming in. They didn't appear, and now they're all appearing now when he can't go anywhere. It's stupidity. Well, it's not stupid. It's just people making up things. Coventry looked a class side. Sheffield Wednesday looked like a disaster scene. Yeah, Arthur, I think they've got a lot of problems, Sheffield, and Coventry, when I've seen 5 today, 4 midweek or whenever, yeah, they're going to be up there. But so are we, the Borough. So listen, thanks very much for joining us. I've just got this. I forget. So we've only got 2 minutes, so I don't want to bore you. But 40th celebration for myself is at Middlesbrough Town Hall on the 30th of October. I've got that right, haven't I? And there are going to be guys like Bruce Rea, Tony Mowbray, Pallister, Gibson, Downing, Wheater, Proctor, Hodgson, Hignett, Henry, Stevens, Cochrane, Arkham, Madison, Baird, Monvale. A host of people. If you want in, there'll be Big Jeff Winter, the former referee. There'll be Peter Wright, the Yorkshire vet, Mickey Horswell, FA Cup winner for Sunderland, Eric Gates. They're my pals, worked for me, the legends with me. So if you're interested, there's only balcony tickets. 01642 729 729. That's for the balcony. Or you can dial 07368 870 120. Or you can email the word 7, not the number, the word 7.enterprises@hotmail.co.uk. Sorry to bore you at the end. It'll be a great night. I'm sure it'll be a great night. I'm looking forward to seeing all the lads, hearing their stories. And so, Borough today, to sum it up, I expected at least a draw before the game. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. My son reminded me last night that it's a bogey. He's a big Borough fan. They're a bogey team. Well, it turned that out today. First half, they were the better team. Had one chance they totally fluffed, should have scored. And then they did score. And then we came out second half, made all the changes in the world. Every change we could make, we made. Brought in Strelick, Brown, Neepan, Bazog, Whittaker. Looking for a change in fortunes. It didn't materialise, didn't happen. In sport, sometimes that happens. But we'll take it in the chin. We'll move on and we'll roll our sleeves up and get ready after the international break and get ready for the big game against Ipswich Town and get back in track. So thanks for joining us. Enjoy the games on the TV tonight. Enjoy your curry, whatever you're getting. Up the Borough.